wheel. Went ahead and got all this rust off of here, and whatever rust was left in the pits I took care of with spraying some metal prep on there. So then it kind of turned that stuff black and made for a good paintable surface. So now I'm going to hit it with some self-etching primer before I paint it. This wheel had just some rust around the edges, a few spots here that I cleaned up. So I'm going to go ahead and spray this with some self-etching. Okay, I got these wheels all cleaned up, primered and sprayed with gloss black. Also got these two brackets primered, painted, and should be ready to put the tires on. Okay, I've been going over the cost of this car, and the first batch of eBay parts I ordered was $58.91. The most recent eBay parts came out to $38.51. Fasteners, $50. Some brakes and miscellaneous stuff, $114. The cost to put that differential together plus the steering box rebuild was $11.25. These were PayPal items. The leaf springs, bushings, the brake kit, and some other miscellaneous stuff came out to $30.26. So I added it all up. So far with the purchase price, I'm into the car for $31,057. I still have to rebuild that engine and transmission, and paint and upholstery. So I think I'll probably be into it for about $45,000 to $50,000 by the time I'm all said and done, which I think is okay. Alright, I got my wide white wall tires in. Get ready to put these on there today, and looking good. 14-inch. These are gonna look sweet. So I'll get these mounted today on the wheels and clean off all that blue stuff and get them ready to mount onto the car. Alright, got the middle sections of the floor, so that takes care of almost everything I need for the floor. I'm just waiting on some brackets that go on the bottom that are support brackets, and those are coming from out of the United States, so it might be a little while to get those. Got my rocker panels in the mail today. I got the nice long ones, goes all the way down, and these look really good. So I think I could go ahead and primer the inside of these before they get welded on, and then we'll just sand down these edges where they're going to get welded. Okay, I got these premium brake rotors with the rust preventative coating that I was wanting. These are made for a Jeep, and these are actually front rotors for a Jeep, but they'll be going on the rear of my car. Okay, I got my brake kit from AAJ Brakes, so I'm excited to cut this thing open and we'll see what we got here. Alright, I got an invoice, $950. I'm not sure why it says that because I paid $10.99, but so far it looks well packaged. Start taking this stuff out. Alright, this is the front kit. It came with the brackets and the hoses, the bearings, seals. I guess there's some kind of adapters in there. So this was the kit that was $625, and then the rear kit I'm about to unbox. Okay, this is the less expensive rear kit. Already there's a little bit of confusion. I took the plastic off. This says passenger side, and there's a sticker here that says driver side. This one says driver side, and this is a sticker that says passenger side. So I'm not sure what exactly these stickers mean. Maybe that's the direction it faces, or what. I'm going to have to call them and find out. I got some bare metal brackets here I'm going to have to paint, and some bolts. So we'll get it figured out. It also says that this is a kit for tapered axles. I already talked to him. We determined I don't have a tapered axle. So I'm going to have to call him and make sure that these rotors and calipers are exactly what I'm going to need. Yeah, I have to pick up the rotors and calipers still from the auto parts store on both kits. And I should be ready to go. I got him on the phone. He says to trust this sticker. So this is actually the passenger side. This one's the driver side. And I'm ready to go pick up some more parts and get going. Okay, I've been going over these lists. I got to pick up a bunch of extra parts to complete these brake kits. For the rear brakes, I need the calipers from Monte Carlo. I found the best price at O'Reilly, so I'm picking those up. Got to pick up some rotors. They're from a Jeep. And then for the front brakes, these parts were included in the kit. I just have to pick up the rotors. O'Reilly had them for $126 a pair, but they didn't have rust coating on them. So I ended up picking those up on eBay. I got an upgraded one for $153. I had to order them from 2 separate vendors, but they have the rust coating, which is pretty important. I'm going to pick up these calipers at O'Reilly, $35 a piece, and the pads. And as soon as I get those parts, I'll be ready to kind of start getting going on that thing. Okay, I was shopping around for these calipers, and then I started looking at prices of the pads too, and found this bundle for 79 bucks. With shipping, I get the calipers and the pads, ceramic pads, which I like because they don't create a lot of dust. And I do like red, and they're brand new. So that beats O'Reilly's price on that one. So I picked that up. Okay, I ordered a set of 4 ceramic brake pads for the front brakes. And I usually go with the cheapest ones I can find, which was $17. I always order the cheapies on my Mercedes too, and they work just fine, no problem. So we'll see how these do. Alright, I picked up these front rotors from a Jeep Cherokee, and these are going on the rear of my vehicle. I got 2 of them for 88 bucks. And I made sure I got the premium rotors with the rust resistant coating, and saved about $25 over ordering it or picking it up at O'Reilly's. So I think I'm pretty much set. I'm just waiting for these parts now. Alright, one little detail I forgot was to order me some valve stems. I got the bolt-in kind. They're supposed to be a little more reliable than the rubber ones. And got 4 of those coming in. Okay, I went down to O'Reilly's, picked up 2 calipers that I'm going to need for the front brakes. These are from a 76 Chevy Monte Carlo. And I also picked up some engine paint. This is what color I'm going to paint the engine. got some primer, flame proof, and some wheel gloss. I'm going to actually repaint those wheels with some nice looking wheel paint and then put some gloss on it before I put the tires on there. So I spent about $105 down there, and I've got all my stuff on order. I'm just waiting for everything to come in. Okay, first step here is to knock out these bolts. I'm going to replace them with the longer ones. Okay, my next big problem here was there's this grease seal, and I didn't know which direction it goes. I have to put some grease in there. So I called the Volusia drivetrain. He says it goes with the greased side facing toward the inside of the axle. So I'm going to go ahead and put this grease in there, slip that on, and we should be getting ready to put this in. Okay, the first thing to do here when you get a new axle housing is to make sure that the old axle seals are out of there. And if they're still in there, you have to get them out. It's not real easy to get those out. What I used was a chisel and a sledgehammer, and you really have to break those things apart until you can pull them out. So I got these out, and then I'm ready to drive the new ones in. Okay, I went and watched a few YouTube videos on putting these seals in. Once you get that seal pushed or snugged back there, you want to put in some type of cup. Some people use PVC, but I found a cup that I had in one of my kits that worked perfectly. So putting that cup back there, and then a socket, and then I'll just use a hammer and bang that thing back there till it seats, and then I'm ready to install those axles. Okay, I called Roger to make sure this was the correct way to do it. We've got the gasket, the spacer, the foam gasket, and then I'm going to use a piece of wood and pound this axle, get that bearing seated in there, and on to the next step. Okay, I got that first bracket installed, and I'm going to tighten these down. Okay, I've got all those nylock nuts tightened down, and I left this one open. As soon as I get that other axle put in, I'll go ahead and adjust this adjusting sleeve here so that there's no play in and out. And then as soon as it's really tight, then I'll just slightly loosen it one notch and lock it in with this locking pawl, and then put that nut on there, and that'll keep that adjuster in place. Okay, next step is wants me to install the rotors, which I don't have, but then as soon as I put the calipers on this bracket, then I put the rotors on, and then I install that bracket there, and it should come together. A little bit difficult at that first one, figuring out what I needed to do, but should go a lot easier the second one. Okay, I got these new motor mounts in the mail today. These are from a Big Block DeSoto, but I found out that they're not exactly right for my Plymouth. These holes are the correct length apart, but James Rawa on the Facebook group told me that they still won't fit. So what has to be done is these have to be sawed off, right like he did, and then re-welded back on. This side has to be sawed and then flipped so that that longer end is toward the top. And the same thing has to happen over here. That has to be modified. So these are a little bit closer to what I needed, but still not exactly right. It shouldn't be too hard to get them to work. But I do appreciate Mr. Wawa giving me that advice, Jim, and he's a scholar and a gentleman. Okay, I used the photographs and the included bolts to get this bracket on. The calipers go toward the rear. There was a couple spacers, one here and one on this corner down here. There was 2 long bolts, 2 short bolts, and it went on pretty good. I've got the steering linkage attached. Just got to put a cotter pin in there, and I'm ready to do the other side.